I'm Henry Banks.
Hello, I'm Sharifa Juma.
Hello, I'm Agnes. Signal. Remember me.
Mr. Malcolm.
Hello, my name is Agnes. I'm 16-year-old and I play soccer and I got the chance to play soccer in Russia, Spain. I've traveled to Ecuador through study abroad. I'm a 4.0 student and overall I'm a student athlete. That didn't make sense.
That's good.
Okay, hello, my name is Sharifa. I am a 3.0 student. I do JRTC. What else do I do? I played a couple sports. I ran track.
I'm sorry. She didn't run the track.
Shut up.
I'm so
I did.
sorry. I had to.
2 weeks counts. 2 weeks counts.
We're going to talk about it later.
Okay.
I'm Henry. I'm 13. I'm a 4.0 student. I play competitive soccer and tennis. I work hard. I don't know.
You do. What are some things? It's got to be something. What are some things that you think that you've done that a lot of other people your age have not done?
I like to plan, I guess, for the future.
How so?
Just think about what I want to do next.
Why you doing? My name is Agnes. I'm 16. I've got the chance to play soccer in Spain and Russia. I've been to Ecuador through study abroad. I also ran track and I'm a great student. Thank you.
You feel better?
Yes.
All right. What is your why? And y'all should all know what that means, but I can tell you again. Y'all know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Sharifa? Henry?
Sort of. Not
Okay.
really.
So why is, like, not to be sarcastic, but why are you, how old are you, 12?
13.
13. Why are you 13 and you planning ahead for your life? Like, we know for a fact, a lot of your peers, at least in school, they don't. Or why do you do the work that helps you get a 4.0? Alright? Or why are you waking up early? Why are you standing up?
Why are you here?
Like, what fuels you to do the things that you do? So anybody got one?
Well, to be honest, I don't really have an answer, but let's just put myself in a situation where I had to give an answer. My why was just being the results I get after, after doing what I'm doing. It's like people ask me, why do you involve yourself in so much sports and programs, because you don't really live a regular teenage life. Like, why do I pull myself away from that? It's just because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get the results of all that hard work I put in. So yeah, that's my why. My why is just like people would say, it's not the destination but the journey, but answering this question is the destination, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So my why is where I'm gonna get at the end, not how I'm gonna get there, if that makes sense.
Okay.
When I think about it, it's like that's kind of what you're expected, and that's like what is expected of me from my parents. But then when I think about it, it's like I also do it for myself, because I think I can sit down and I think, and I'm like, well, I don't want to have a job where I work at like Walmart or something. I actually see myself being successful. So the only way to get there is by doing what you have to do in order to get there. So that's my why. That's my purpose. I actually want to see a brighter future for myself.
Okay.
I guess for me, I care about the results that I get, and if something bad, this sort of pushes me to do better, I guess. And it's hard for me to take a loss, and I guess I just sort of push myself to be better.
Okay.
Can I ask you, why is it hard for you to take a loss? You mean like
Because I know that I'm capable of
better?
doing something better.
So I'm gonna offer y'all some feedback on it. First, just from the beginning, I'm gonna challenge you to do more. like what that more is for
That's
you, Sharifa, what that more is for you, I'm not quite sure. But didn't seem like you were quite sure. But so a why, speaking to everybody again, I learned a new way to put it. It's kind of like a dog. So imagine if you were a dog, respectfully, for the sake of the example, and you didn't have a sense of smell, right? And you were roaming. Say you were hungry, a hungry dog, out here in DC. You're just roaming, right? You might mess around and run into McDonald's or Subway or somewhere to where you can find something to eat, right? But a lot of people are just that dog and they don't have a sense of smell. But once you have a purpose, you get that sense of smell, you start to just go towards stuff, right? Oh, I'm hungry again, I'll go get it. But as you wander, you might run into something good, but it's more likely than not that you won't. You feel me? So that why is like the purpose. So the first thing you gotta do is kind of develop that sense of smell, you know? And for you two, Henry and Agnes, I'm going to challenge you not to focus on the results. Because it's like, what happens, let me ask you, what, you said it's the results. So what are the results for you? Like, what does that mean? College degree, job, business?
Just a happy life as a whole. Because people always say do the job that you want to wake up every morning and be excited to have. So in my sense, it's not necessarily having that job, but just waking up happy. So yeah, that's mine.
Okay. So a step deeper, what does happiness mean?
Well, not to go into so much details, but right now it's not the best time in the life for me. You know, there's a lot of struggles going on, and being a teenager, you don't want to feel like a 30-year-old with no job and no college degree, and that's how I feel right now. So I want that when with all the work I'm putting now, I don't wake up like that one out of 5 30-year-olds that have no job and are still outside trying to work at McDonald's to get the minimum wage. So I want to wake up knowing that I put the work in, and now I'm in a state where I just have to wake up and just be happy regardless of what I'm doing.
Okay, I respect it. Good answer. Henry?
What was the question?
So y'all both focus on results.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, like, what do those results look like for you?
I just say being the best that I know that I can be, because I don't like to see myself like saying that, oh, I could have done this when instead I did that. And so I guess it's important for me to be like as high as I can be.
Okay. So I'm gonna challenge y'all, Henry and Agnes, I'm gonna challenge you to be intentional with your process. I want you to focus on the process. Don't focus on the results. And Sharifa, I need you to establish a process. So for example, say my results were, I got a job that I want to get a job that I like. I want to be in the top 5% income. And I think like now in America, it's like exponential growth. It gets big. I think I'm in like the top 5% of income for people under 30, right? And that's not that much. You feel me? Especially if you have expenses and things like that, right? So I got my results, but I'm also not happy because there's so much more I could do. Like now we here, Game 7, summertime. What's today? Saturday?
12.
What day of the week is it? Saturday. Wow. Right? It just runs into each other, right? But that's because I've learned to become focused on the process. I can pretty much get, you are like blissfully dissatisfied. Like you've been able to get to where you got in life because y'all not cool with just being average. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But once you start to just focus on the process, it'll be goal after goal after goal after goal. Like if Kendall was here, he would tell you he made it to the NFL. He played 4 years, but his goal was to just make it to the NFL. His goal wasn't to make it to the NFL and be a Hall of Famer. So once he got to the NFL, he stopped working hard. he started partying and messing with all the girls and all that kind of stuff, he lost his focus. As opposed to if he stayed focused on the process, he'd probably still be in the NFL. He's a supreme athlete. You've seen him.
Yeah.
Agnes, I don't know if you remember Sharifa. He's a big dude and he moves like he's like my size. Like he's a freaky athlete. But he was focused on the results as opposed to being focused on the process.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But it also is a good thing. Like Agnes, you hit it on the head. Like especially from what me and KP was talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
It's so dope that you're only 16 and you already have that. I don't want to be 30 with nothing going for me feeling. Because we know plenty of 30-year-olds, 29-year-olds, nothing going, yo. And primarily because they weren't doing things like y'all doing at this age to prepare them for later. I think I've been able to be very successful because I've been going hard since I was younger than all y'all. Like not Saturday, I already told y'all about Seeds so many times. But summer school, I went through Monday through Friday at like one of the best colleges in the world, Princeton, for 5 weeks. That was after 7th grade. During 7th grade, I went to school on Saturdays. 8th grade, I went to school on Saturdays. After 8th grade, I went to school Monday, didn't come back home till Friday. I went to boarding school. We had school Monday through Saturday and study hall Sunday, so literally 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, and then undergrad, and then grad school. And Game 7 ain't my first business. I had a music label, real estate company. I done did all these kind of things and continue to go through it. So now, and I feel bad for like some of my friends and family because I'm about to be 30 next month. And I'm almost old. I'm doing okay. I'm doing a lot better than a lot of them.
Right.
So I'd be like, damn, if I'm doing a lot better than them, and it's hard for me, I can only imagine what other people are going through, right? Having that feeling that shit, like I know people like they can't even drive. They can't put gas in the tank at 30. Or I know people who choose to stay in a broken relationship because they haven't put the work in to be their best so they can get the best kind of partner. Right? So I think it's pretty dope like that y'all got that kind of feeling to look that far ahead. But don't never focus on results. Focus on the process. Because I know I taught y'all about it. I may have taught y'all about it. But I know I love my sports examples. But Nick Saban, Alabama's coach, the best coach, like the best coach ever. He wins the ship. He has a 24-hour rule. He only celebrates for 24 hours. Boom, then it's on to the next. Right? We won the ship. What we do? He expected to do so. And he understands like the next, like where he wins, Alabama, y'all know like the stars and the athletes, like a 1-star athlete, 2-star, 3-star. Okay, so pretty much all sports, especially high school rankings, they're ranked by stars. So a 5-star is like the GOAT, the best player you can get at highest level. 4-star, very, very good, and down the line. But he don't get nothing but 5 stars. Like nothing. They all 5. But that comes from the off season, like going to their house to recruit them and all those kind of things. Bill Belichick does it too. Patriots, 24 hours. Michael Phelps, he wins the Olympics. He works out the next day. So they're not focused on the results, focused on the process. All right.
Fair enough.
You pick something up from that?
Yeah.
I picked up ET from there. No.
Sharifa, you sleep.
Same thing I said.
All right. So follow-up question from that, and this is kind of unplanned. And Henry, I'm gonna make you going first. So what's something you can do in the short term, like in the next 2 weeks?
Okay.
What's something you can do in the next 2 weeks to start to have an intentional process?
Hold up.
What do you mean intentional process?
Okay, so you said you're planning for the future, right? And you might already do have a planning, an intentional process, knowing you. But like, what are you planning for?
In the future? Like what do I want to do?
Well, you said you plan, so.
Yeah. So you're asking like what do I want to do in the future?
Yeah. So what your plan is a path to get you to be where?
Okay. Well, I guess I want to work with psychology. Maybe cognitive psychology. So I have to think of how I can work on that now. I mean, I've been reading some books on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm right now, so I don't know. I just can continue to research it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So have you been researching the guy I told you to research? Have you been researching the guy I told you to research about?
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
Have you? All right. So this is like my mind is just different now. Like I tell you all the time. You know, I don't know if y'all know, who made the most money off of YouTube last year? Ryan.
Who's Ryan?
Ryan, right?
He's 7. He might be 8 now. He's 7 or 8. He made the most 20-something million off of YouTube.
Off doing what? Is he the boy with the toys?
Yes, and he don't even play with him.
Yeah, he was on the news.
He don't play with him.
Yeah,
he
was
opens
on the
them
news.
and he gives them away. And now he got a show on Nick Jr.
Sure.
Yeah, him and his family.
I saw him on the news last year.
Can you give me his number? Cause I think I need that.
He just like doesn't he just open them and like review them or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's and he review them, give them away. So Henry, just think about this. You're 13, and I always push Henry. What do I always push you to do about? What's my one focus area for you that I want you to continue to grow?
Impacting others.
Impacting other people. All right, I tell Henry, Henry, you got the juice, bro. Like you get a 4.0 in your sleep, very mature. I don't got no issue with you. But I learned from being like that great student growing up, and like kind of think how Agnes may experience. Hopefully not. Like everything is kind of, I don't want to say handed to me because I worked hard for it, but I always thought like I did everything I was supposed to do so I can get that job and I can get those opportunities that I bust my behind for as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't notice like it's another Agnes out there. It's another Henry out there.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of them. Especially in this city, this is the fastest rising per capita, the most millionaires in America in this city, and the most educated city in America, behind Ann Arbor, second most educated. All right, you wanna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna add to that. You take there's another Agnes out there. It's like when you were in our school, right?
Mm-hmm.
You always tell me, "Oh, Agnes, you're really smart." And what did I tell you?
That you're not that smart.
No, I told you don't call me smart because I don't want because you told me you don't mind calling me smart because it doesn't get to my head. But it was not about it getting to my head. It's about going out there and realizing there are other people smarter than me and now have to work. Because it's like, and I was actually asked this question a couple of days ago at work. It was like people say, "Oh, you're so smart." I was like, no, don't call me smart because it's like I might have the abilities that shows that I'm smart, but when I get in college. And then I realized that actually I'm not smart, if that makes sense. There's other competition out there. And I feel like me, if I took being smart to the head and then go out there and realize there's way more better than me, then I won't be able to push harder. I'll be worried about the fact that people told me I'm smart and now I got here and I can't execute that. Understand what I mean?
Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, it just depends on, like, in relativity to everything else, because like, yeah, you're smart, but then you also have to look at everyone else, and then you can't just like know about yourself, and you have to realize that there's a lot more out there.
Yeah, I agree with you, but don't point it out because when I get out there, I'll see other people. It's like, what I'm trying to say is you not telling me I'm smart makes me going out there and realize I have to push harder than going out there and realizing I'm smart, but having to still work hard, if that makes sense. So with me telling you, you telling me I'm smart is like telling me, oh, I'm already up there.
Yeah.
That's why.
But I think your greatest strength is also your greatest flaw, because you are extremely hard on yourself. It's like, yo, she get a 95, she done.
Shut up.
She done. She gonna cry, and then she gonna.
Don't tell people I cry.
She gonna focus on that 5% she did not get. The primary reason why she got that 95 is because she has that attitude, right? So there's a give and a take to it. But I want you to know.
It's high school, okay? You can't be getting on 95. Actually, it's not even 95. It's a 99. It's just a point away from 100. And the mistake you showed me sometimes doesn't even make sense. Why not just give me 100?
Yeah, I hear you.
You hear me, but you don't hear me.
But I'm supposed to give you 100 if you ain't get it all right?
No, you're pointing out the mistake. Let's say I wrote a 2 a certain way. Just because you couldn't read it, that's a negative minus 0.5 or something.
So did I not make it very clear that if I couldn't read it, I was going to mark it?
It's not my fault you can't read it.
I don't know if you know how to write me.
Excuse you?
Alright,
Being a teacher, you gotta go through all that process of being able to read different type of handwritings. You choose that job, not me. So give me the grade I deserve.
You see some.
Thank you.
You see some of the handwriting I have to read.
That's you choose. You choose.
You know what I mean?
the job.
It ain't just about you. It got to be a universal rule, right? But what I want you to understand is like, one day you have to. Yo, I am smart. I know when I go to this college. I know when I go to this job, or when I go to this interview, if they don't hire me, it's their loss. I know when I go to this school, Harvard, Oxford, MIT, it ain't too hard for me because I'm smart. Just because you're smart, that don't mean you have to be conceited.
Sure.
But like when it's the fourth quarter and there's 3 seconds left, you gotta get the ball to that dog. Yo, give it to Henry. I know he gonna kick and give it everything he got because he know he put the work in. Henry, yo, give me the ball. I got us. That don't mean you conceited or that you too much or that you don't know that you can't get better. Right, but that's one thing. Like I was just telling KP today. Like I had to learn to, like, accept that. Like one of my gifts, like I inspire people. Like I motivate people. Like you was one of the main ones. Malcolm, you need to quit teaching and be a motivational speaker. And look where we at today. But you was also the person giving me the blues for leaving and starting to go forward. Henry said it too. Like Malcolm, I really appreciate how like you just talk to us, and it's not always about math. But I had to learn. Like, yeah, I'm that guy. Like when people need help, come to me. I got you. I'm not gonna say, oh, Henry, that's easy. I just fix you. Sharifa, that's easy. Just do it. No, it's gonna be a process. But I've learned just from being like a professional impactor that I have a gift for that. But if I didn't fully accept that, I wouldn't be able to dive in this way, you know? So know that you're smart because you put the work in. But also, you're right on the other side. Don't lose yourself. You know? Don't lose yourself. Anybody can go. What's the toughest thing that you went through in the last year? What's the toughest thing that you've been through in the last year?
Like school-wise or
Nah,
personally?
I mean, it could be school. Like, what's the toughest thing Sharifa's went through as a person? Agnes, him.
You go first. You haven't been talking this whole time.
Yeah, she giving me that Sharifa face.
I gotta think. Like, what do you mean? Like, through school?
Just in general.
No, like
what's
just
the toughest thing you went through?
Everybody got something going on. And if it's too much, you don't gotta share. But what's the toughest thing that you're willing to share?
Okay. So, well, for me, it's like,
For me, it was a boyfriend saying no.
well, for me, it's tough because I try my best. No, I can't say my best. I don't try my best in school. But sometimes I try to make myself try my best, but I always lose focus. So it's hard for me to keep focus. And then when I sit down and I just put everything in place, I have everything through, I know what I'm gonna do, I know what I need to do for myself to better myself. And then, I'm all feeling excited about myself, feeling proud of myself. Because I'm actually gonna try to put effort into doing this, because you know me, I hate math. So I'm actually gonna try to put effort into doing this. So I go to my mom, and she's all like, oh my gosh, that's so good. My grades come in, there'll be like an improvement, and my mom, she'll be like, oh, that's good. Like, I'm glad how you're trying, and like it's small improvements, like baby steps. Then there goes my dad. He's just gonna be like, he's the type of person who expects you to have it like right there on the spot. Like, he don't understand baby steps or like I'm getting better or stuff like that. He expects it to be there. I guess because like when he was younger, he was like A student, the best. Whatnot.
Parents say that. I want to see a report.
So,
like, seriously.
And like, it's like he expects it all to be right there, and that pressure is something that makes me just give up, and it makes me like not want to pursue it anymore, because it's like, I mean, I'm taking baby steps and I'm really, really trying, but like it's not even about being acknowledged. It's like the fact that you're just like giving me a reason to give up. Like, it's like you're crushing me. Like, it's like I'm trying, but it's like your type of like pushing me to do better is actually crushing me. So that's something tough that I've been going through this year.
And I just want to add to her situation because I kind of know. It's like her dad's pressure is not like the, oh, I want you to be better pressure. It's like he just wants to have something to say at this point. It's like okay, it's like when I was in your class, right, and I would get something wrong, and I put down my head, and you would come and tell me, oh, this, that, and then I would get my head back up and do my work. Her dad's pressure is not that type of pressure. It's not the pressure. It's like, oh, I understand you're trying, but like I'm. It's not like I'm just gonna be like your mom and hug you and like, oh, good job. I'm gonna put pressure on you. No, his is like, I don't even know. He just want to have something to say and just. To be honest, just bring her down. Seriously.
Yeah.
And people will say, don't say that about your parents. They won't want what's best for you. But do they really? Do they really know what is best for you? Because when they grow up is not when we grow up. So things are a lot more different. We can't say harder because we have technology and all this things making stuff simple nowadays. But it is harder in a sense, but they just don't get that. And it's just so frustrating.
And like that is like, that's something personal to me. So it's like, it's sad to me because like I try, but then like, it's not about being acknowledged because I don't care about not being acknowledged because like at the end of the day, like I always tell myself, you always got to do it for yourself. But then again, it's like I'm really trying and like you're just crushing me. Like you're making it seem like I'm not trying at all. But
Like
I am.
if it's not good enough for him, it's not good enough for anybody.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Well, for me, like if it comes to grades or anything, I don't like do my best because of my parents. It's just like for me, and if my report card comes, I can just tell my parents that I got all A's and they believe me. Like they don't even need to check. And so it's not like
that's a free pass. That is a good thing.
But I mean, knowing you hear me
A
too,
free
obviously
pass.
you're not my son, but I wouldn't check either. I would believe it.
I mean,
I would believe it
like
myself.
I'll show them, but they don't like need to have proof. And so I guess it's
You
not.
get parents like
I'm just doing it for myself. And it's a lot of people, if they get like all A's or something, they get a reward. But for me, it's just a given. And
Right, like I understand what he's saying because for me, it's expected of me to have straight A's. It's like if you don't have straight A's, what are you doing? What is your life?
Expectation.
And it's like okay, but still. So let's say if I get a B, and you know, like he said, he's used to having straight A's, so his parents will check, and that used to be me, and I'm happy about that because
3 assignments to be done by the other day, and I also take him the next day, which he'd also assign another assignment. So it's like I had like multiple things to worry about because I'm gonna see him like I have to do this one, but I have to do this one first because I'm gonna see him the next day, and this one is AP. It's more important. But then if I don't do the other one, I'm also gonna get in trouble. So
sorry, Henry, we taking it sideways, but you know you can tell us about the crazy teachers in your class too.
So it's like I gotta manage that. Then my other classes weren't hard, like English. But then like at the end of the term, like I started getting everything confused because like it was like I had to worry about this class, and then I forgot about English. So while I'm worried about these classes, I have Mr. Tori stacking up assignments for me.
It's because all y'all students wants to do is blame the teachers. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not bashing all the teachers.
I'm not bashing no teachers. I'm bashing. So then after that, it's like I have to worry about this class and this class. Then I go home and or one day I feel like, oh, I was with Agnes. She motivated me. She decided me to do so good. Like I'm feeling so good. Like oh, I accomplished so much today. And then I go home and there goes my dad. So it's just like, yeah, that was one of the toughest things in school.
Sorry, we took that side.
So did you tell us your toughest thing?
No, I didn't actually.
What's your toughest thing?
I just feel like life is tough, but what is one thing I can share?
And then every day I'd go home and I just complain to her.
And no, that's the craziest part. I have all these people complaining to me, but I can't complain back.
No, she complains back to me too.
Sharifa, I barely complain to you. If I really complain to you, then you will not.
But that's the thing. She don't choose to complain to me.
I mean, but that's Agnes. You are a leader.
It's
that's the life of a leader.
But she chooses not to complain to me. I complain to her because she's somebody who actually listens instead of
And what
judges.
she probably won't tell you, she doesn't complain to you because she's fulfilling her role as
listening to you,
your listener and supporter. So like she knows that you have your own things
And you
to
don't
worry about.
but-
She's not trying to add anything that.
But that's the thing. Like,
No, listen,
I don't
listen,
mind. Because
listen.
if she comes up to me and she tells me about, this week
Sharifa,
bothered me.
I understand you don't mind. 'Cause
listen to
no,
her.
look at this. You see, I'm talking over you. You're talking over me. You don't notice that, but every time we talk to each other, this is what happens. So technically, we're not even listening to each other because we're just talking over each other. So it doesn't make sense. You get me? My toughest thing for the past year would probably be coming to an understanding with my family, meaning being like we just talked about, being people listening to you and you listening to them and coming to meeting each other, common ground. So it's been something going on since I came to this country. That's why I blame it on being in this country. But at this point, I can't really do that no more because I'm getting older and I'm realizing it's part of life, but that doesn't mean I want it. So it's like my mom, we have to argue about decisions, and she's the type of person, she says she doesn't like questions, but then when you don't ask questions, she asks you why you didn't ask questions. So it's like, make up your mind. Do you want me to come to you as a mom and ask you questions, or you just want me to be there just to listen to you? And then I have my sister acting like she's my mom and my dad and my only family. Like, sorry, but I don't really need her. I don't need her. I don't want her. She thinks she's doing what is best for me, but I'm the type of person to jump to conclusions, so I reach out to other people. And not necessarily people, maybe I should people outside of my family, but if you have a member in the family and they're doing something towards you, you go towards your other family members and they're saying the same thing. So most likely, you're not the one that's wrong at that moment. It's most likely the other person, but they won't come to that understanding because they think they're the best. So
That's
I
my
guess,
father right there.
so I guess my problem, my situation I went through this year is just, letting my family know they can trust me and like that I can make decisions for myself, and also not because I'm the youngest doesn't mean I don't have something to say. Just be heard, just to be heard. So yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what the hardest thing is, but I mean, I guess when we had our big finals at the end of the year, I had to if I didn't feel ready in a certain class, I'd have to push myself on my own time and work hard in English or whatever.
So y'all hit some buttons that always get hit. So first, for Sharifa, first thing I'm gonna challenge you to do, you said the word try a lot. Stop trying. I don't mess with nobody who try, because people that try, they leave an escape. Like, yo, Sharifa, pass me the water, and you ain't pass it. Well, I tried.
She does that.
As opposed to just doing. Right now, also understand, as you just do, sometimes you're not going to be able to be successful. But, yo, Henry, I need you to have this homework again tomorrow. Malcolm, I try. Ain't no try. Alright, he gonna be like, Malcolm, I got it. What period you want me to bring it?
Oh, please.
You
I'm
feel me?
procrastinating.
I want you to start doing, right? And then also for you, and you too, Agnes.
I'm gonna write that down.
Go ahead. But in a year from now, it's gonna be a totally different world.
Do you think so?
Totally different world.
Hey, just know I have African parents. Just know that.
Yeah, we know.
He said we know.
Malcolm speaks.
Period.
It's going to be a total different world, and you're going to be competing. You'll be competing versus me next year. You feel me? And I'm out to crush you.
Are you done?
For real, that's how it's got to be. Think about it.
I ain't scared of you.
I ain't gotta be scared. I still crush you though.
Oh.
Yeah, you can get this work in 1 year.
This little business you started got to get in your head. Let's take them back a year ago. It's like no.
All right, but don't try.
Yeah.
So another thing, just the difference between the three of you in parenting. That was really one of the major reasons for doing Game 7 too. I learned through kids, working with kids is very hard. Dozo was very hard in his own Dozo way. And Stewart is kind of even harder in a very different.
Younger kids.
Who got young good kids?
And Stewart
No,
middle
she
school.
said they're younger kids.
Yeah. Oh, younger. Yes,
Oh,
they are
yeah.
younger kids. Yes, they are younger kids. But I've met like so many students that gave me trouble. Then I meet their family. I'm like, all right.
That makes sense.
I totally understand it, and it's because it's a lot of blind leading the blind. Like, how are you supposed to learn to do things that the people before you couldn't do? And like, people have like this stigma, I guess, like, oh, that's my family, I have to interact with him, I have to interact with her, or I have to automatically have a love for them, I have to listen. But in my opinion, speaking for me, family is like so overrated. Families, like, there's not too many people in my family that can really help me with anything right now.
Seriously, and that's I have to say something. As I just want, and it's like you put pressure for believing so. It's like, oh, let's say I would come. I'm gonna just put myself out there. I would come to school and cry because I'm telling you, it is frustrating. Okay, and crying is like my best way to just put stuff out because I can't really talk back when they're talking to me. So the best I can do is just cry the word out. So I would come to school and talk to let me just say somebody, okay? And they're gonna tell me, but that's your mom, that's your this, that's at the end of the day, it's like, so what? So they putting guilt into me. It's like, oh, some people don't have moms. Now you have a mom talking to you, so they're making me feel like, okay, I don't have the right to cry. It's like, no, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes
they just people. Like, there's some mothers who love their kids left, right, up and down for forever. There's some mothers who literally cut their kids' head off.
exactly.
So it's just a word. So what I'm not telling you to be disobedient
Of course
towards your
not.
family
Of course not.
at all, for clarification. But I want you to realize that they just people. And there's a lot of, and especially, and I think it's the difference, like, Henry hasn't expressed that he's had those kind of issues. And I know Henry's mom is dope. Like, she's a super dope lady.
She a soccer mom.
Soccer mom.
I love soccer moms.
But she's a very, very, very different parent than the parents I've interacted with, at least in this city. And we get a very, very, very different kid in this city. And it's something I want to touch on, and this is where I really appreciate Henry. So when I do Game 7 at Stewart, it's like 30 people maybe, a little bit more than that in the end.
Yeah.
And Henry's the only white student. Oh, Henry's smart because he's white. Or Henry can't hear because he's white. And that's all they see is white. And I commend Henry, number one, for being able, and I ain't never really seen Henry like have any kind of emotion. Like, he's always like this. He's very, very, very stable. And you can always, he listens and he just thinks. And if you ask, you're paying attention, he could probably tell us everything that we just said.
Yeah, I just observe things.
Yeah, she observed everything. And I learned that after you and Dylan stopped messing with me for the first 2 weeks.
I'm dead.
But yeah, him and his friend, they this is Henry and Dylan. But in the beginning, he kept telling me he was Dylan. The other one kept telling me he was Henry, so I couldn't figure out who was who. But parenting, like, so I want y'all, and now I just want you to learn, because y'all not in a position like me, you can just do what you want, because y'all still young.
I can't, I'm grown.
You ain't grown. You in 12th grade.
I am pretty
16,
grown.
you know, you don't got no
Don't,
license.
if you didn't mention my age, they won't know that. My grade, they won't know that.
How old you think?
Thank you.
How old you think we?
That's what I'm saying. You would have gotten to the 20s.
The most I would give you was like 18.
No, not even that. Like 17 at most.
I'll give you 18.
You
That's
look.
still
You
a
have
kid.
a childish face, like a kid's face.
Actually, that's a good thing, because
Yeah,
I would look 20. I
exactly.
mean, I meant to say 50, and I'm
Yeah,
still
that's what
20,
I
so.
said.
All right, but
Moving on, sorry.
focus, Miss 50-20. But I want y'all to, but also something that I was good at, and it was also different because I haven't really lived at home since I was 12. So a lot of those things, like, I never had to do it because I was always gone. But I also got good at, through time, like, pushing back. Not disrespectfully, but I learned to be intelligent. And intelligent is to being able to talk about one thing in various different ways. So, for example, if I were to ask all three of y'all what this is, what would you tell me?
It's a guide.
It's a guide. What would you tell me?
I don't even know. I'm not so
The
sure what
playbook.
it is.
Playbook, right? So my answer by far would be the most intelligent because I could tell you about this in various different ways. I made it, I wrote it, of course, y'all just not seen it, so I'm supposed to be more intelligent about it. But I can tell you, this all it is a guide. All it is a playbook. But I'll be able to tell you, this is a Game 7 playbook that was written by me that focuses on financial literacy, mindset, and holistic health. And it's a tool that we use to go lead up. You feel me? Very different. Or like, I don't know soccer. If I'm watching soccer with y'all two, I can see, Messi scored. That's what I saw. But then if I asked y'all about the play, nah, the wing kicked it to the left wing.
To the wing.
You feel me? You would give me, hey, well, ain't it right wing, left wing, back, and all that?
Yes.
See, I don't know the positions. But y'all would be able to give me a far more intelligent response than I would.
What were you?
Right? So for if, and I also, you gotta be smart, because this your family, not mine. But like with your dad, if y'all got that kind of relationship, put him to the side, like, yo, dad. Alright, maybe you don't.
I'm sorry.
Or maybe.
I did that before. It worked out for like,
You
we
know
were
what-
cool for
you
like
know I
a,
was gonna tell you though.
hold
What'd
on,
you
we
do?
were cool for like a month. Then we just went back to normal. It's like a temporary type of
Yeah,
relationship. Like it don't stay that way because we're so used to being the opposite.
understood. And I get it, because, like, once again, you're a kid, like, you kind of stuck where you are stuck. But you can start to learn. You can start to learn now for the day when the conversation comes. Like, I already know deep down inside, one day, maybe, there's a conversation I gotta have with my dad. Like, I still never talk to him.
Yeah.
Like, I have zero interest. Like, I only see him now really because of my son. And because I'm not gonna let their relationship be damaged for something that my son don't got nothing. Like, they love each other, they cool. And I mean, I got something to do with that, obviously, but it's not my right to damage their relationship because we don't necessarily have a relationship.
Yeah.
But when that conversation comes, I'm prepared for it.
Yeah.
And I've already tried to have it, but he ain't really react well to it because now I'm the man of the family. Like, that's just kind of how it goes. But in my eyes, like, that should be what you want. Like, you should want your daughter to surpass you you want them to be better than you.
Yeah.
And you want that to happen as soon as possible. Otherwise, like, what's the point?
Yeah, you want the best for
You feel me? I want Nas. If Nas can be 12, making more money than me and supporting this through YouTube or games,
Okay,
do
but
it.
don't pressure the little boy.
You feel
Don't
me?
pressure my friend like that. Let me have a childhood, okay? If you
Alright.
ask me something about my childhood, I would
Cool.
tell you just
So,
because I want my.
That's one of my notes. Pressure. Right?
Okay, don't pressure my little mans like that.
What does pressure make?
Let me have a childhood.
What does pressure make?
Don't end up like one
What
of
does-
our fathers.
what-
Okay.
Yes.
No, but you too. You said it yourself. Malcolm, if I got a question wrong, I put my head down. You come talk to me.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
No.
His pressure is different. He's an
Yes.
inspiring motivation.
Okay,
Exactly.
but don't
Like,
do my little mans like that.
But you know, and probably even for you too, Henry, you tell me what you seen. I believe that when people come to my class, I'm gonna get more out of them than any other class can get out of them.
Obviously,
Like-
they're
like
not, and they're not even your kids.
Like, not even close. Exactly, and they're not even my
So
kids.
that makes
but,
sense.
But imagine, pick don't say no names. Pick a student, you know, from our school, you know, from our time. Pick a student who has or had at the time potential, right? But they failed to act on it. Let's see, nobody. I could think of one. It's a boy. His name starts with an A. First name ends with an E. I think we was talking about him earlier. He came
Ends with the I.
Oh,
with an I.
okay,
Potential out the world.
true.
Potential out the world.
Not really.
JJ.
Yeah.
JJ, he needs pressure from me every day.
You're smart.
He is smart. He would be a totally different kid.
Yeah.
If I was AI's father, he would be a totally different kid because the pressure is relentless. And that's actually, me and KP were talking about that too. Like, as just again, I never stop. I never stop. And the pressure can be too much for people. But I and those people, we have the results to when you let that pressure impact you. Like, I'm gonna know you to be great. Right?
You can be quite annoying. Next time
Yeah.
I'll smack you.
But
'cause your
why
mom's
am I
gonna
annoying you?
know.
I'm not annoying you like Henry. I'm annoying you like Henry, yo. I know you got it, but you need to help you. Like Henry, I would get upset with Henry. Not upset, but Henry would get an A. And I don't know if that's your best friend. one of his closest friends will always get C's. And they sit, no, but just the thing, they sit right next to each other. They're talking to each other the whole time, more or less. And you know me, I'm a pretty cool teacher. Like, I'm going to give you your work, everybody be quiet. I don't do that. I'm just let you do it. So my thing is like, yo, Henry, this your man's. Why you keep getting hundreds and he keep getting C's and y'all got the opportunity to collaborate?
Yeah.
It's either number one, he got to go from your group because he's not adding value, or number two, ladies, if he's going to be in your group, you make sure he's a peak performer.
Yeah, and then I started to imply that. To
And what happened to him?
Yeah, he got better.
He started getting better.
That makes sense, but sometimes.
But because Henry started to put pressure on him. Like, remember we talked about peer pressure?
Mm-hmm.
People always talk about peer pressure as being negative. But that can be a positive.
Yeah.
Like, especially like when you get to college, where you go to college, wherever you go, it's Friday night, most people going. Like that's one of, I don't regret it because it's a big part of who I turned out to be. But I keep you on all those Fridays and Saturdays. Imagine if we was doing work and stuff. Like we would be in the club, yo.
So much fun.
Spending thousands and thousands and thousands and
I'll
thousands.
go to casinos.
Like all gone.
So, no.
Beautiful nights, beautiful experiences.
Great
Like,
memories,
just
bro.
imagine if like we had somebody to lead us to be like, yo, and even like, all right, don't go out Friday. You can go out Saturday, but on Friday, do something so that you can generate the income so that you can go out Saturday.
Nobody go out anyway.
You're gonna go out
Yeah.
in these next 4 years. You're gonna
Best
be out.
believe me, I will not.
Well, but you see, knowing you might not. But it's those kind of people. Like for example, I got one. He like an acquaintance. He's not really.
Yeah.
He's
Oh
not
my
really
god.
He's not really like a friend. But I got Jay. This is one dude we went to school with. His name was Jay, and the dude worked, like all through the school. He worked in a fun way, like he did parties, DJing, but every event was hosted by him. Now he's in. I don't know how happy he is. I don't speak to him, but I see him. Right? I think now he's in Switzerland, and he goes all over the world, like DJing in Hollywood. He's living out what has been his dream, like partying and entertainment has been his thing. But that's because when we was out there playing, he was out there working. Well, I got some homies that still they doing professional sports. They wasn't drinking when everybody else was drinking. They wasn't smoking and doing all kind of thing. They were always focused on their process, right? So pressure. So pressure is a good thing. But it
Sometimes. I'm being honest.
I'm just trying to figure out how to respond. Pressure from the right people.
Yeah. That's
With the right
intense.
delivery.
Yeah, well, the right person is going to understand. Like, for example, what I hear, like primarily from how you speak on your sister and how you speak on your father, they don't give you good pressure.
Not at all.
Like, they kind of give you complaints, and they're not really. They're not teaching. They're just saying this is not good, but they're not going through the process with you to be able to get you to get to the results that they want, which a lot of people can't do.
In a way, it's just telling us to be what they were or weren't.
But you
And
don't know
wearing.
how.
And not telling you how to get there or providing you with the steps to do so. And I think that's also something I learned too, and KP can tell you. I think because when I get put pressure on people, I don't really get kickback. Very, very rarely. Because
I do.
every time I always let them know I'm willing to do it with you. Like my plate is full. I do everything I gotta do. But like, yo, KP, let's work on these videos. I come to I'll do it with him the whole day. Like no excuses. I'll bring the eyes like 12, 13 hours straight.
Hold it.
And then I'll go do my work and do everything I gotta do too. Like that extra pressure. Right? So always have people around you. Like if it's up to you, like y'all should always sit at a table like this. Like now this is the first time in my eyes I haven't known you, like, but I've seen you at a table with somebody that could push you. Like normally it's like Henry ain't getting out of this. Like you're learning, but it ain't nobody who's really gonna light a fire under you.
Yeah, I mean your actions are heavily influenced by who you spend
About who
time
you're
with.
surrounded. 100%.
Does it really?
Or positive
Ah.
or negative.
You be acting like you being nice, but you hitting me. But
I think that's completely true what you say. You're asking, does it really? It does, because you know how I am when I sit with like whoever I feel like sitting with and we skip in class. And when I sit with you and you're like, Sharifa, get this done. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. And then you sit there and you offer to help me how to do it.
And that's pressure. You feel me? Because when she was sitting with her other friends, there was no pressure to get done what you had to get done.
Well, there's also pressure, but in a bad way.
In the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Correct. But just because it's in the positive direction doesn't mean that it's
Bad.
Who
not
gives me
pressure.
bad pressure?
All right. So last part. I want you to, each one of you, you can randomly open it, or you can. I saw y'all skimming through, or you can go to somewhere that you got targeted. I want you to go through the book, pick me one thing that you want to speak on before we go.
None of this.
Well, it's the fixed and growth mindset, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I think the fixed and growth mindset is important because if you have a fixed mindset, you're sort of limiting yourself and limiting your potential to do greater things. But if you have a growth mindset, you know that you can do more after you've already done something, and there's endless potential.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think most of your peers have? Let's talk about school. What do you think most of your peers have in school?
Yeah, a lot of our students have a fixed mindset. Like, they're not willing to change in a positive way because they're fine how they are, but they don't understand that they can be better.
Why do you think that is?
What is?
Why do you think that most of them have the fixed mindset as opposed to the growth mindset?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think that's something that has to be taught?
I mean, I think
it's
a
self-awareness.
growth mindset.
Yeah, like, do you
I
think
feel
that
like
has
a growth
to
mindset
it can-
is like,
it can be helpful to be aware of it,
Mhm.
but also if you experience something that just sort of turns on a light and you're like, oh, I can do this,
be? Mm-hmm.
then that can help.
Okay.
I feel like you develop your growth mindset. I don't think nobody can teach it to you.
Yeah, well, I do think like that comes down to like motivation. Some people are just intrinsically motivated. Like, I don't need, this how y'all say y'all parents with the 4.0s, y'all don't get nothing. Like, it's just expected.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Seriously.
A lot, like especially at Stewart, kids getting $300 shoes for
Yeah,
C's.
they have like phones.
Yeah, so what's going to motivate them to try harder if they get everything they want for a C?
I want anything
Well,
at all.
like,
Not even for
Like without the
baby.
gift or anything.
They want
have
to
no
do
drive
nothing.
to
Yeah, they want to do nothing. And but my point is, like, I think those things have to be taught. Just like you said, so you can be aware of it. But so many people, like, just without it, you're like naturally fixed, or you'll naturally pick up on what your family and your immediate surroundings have.
Mhm.
Like, as we've been teaching this to people, like, so many people have no clue. Like, what's the fixing? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, good one. Sharifa, what you got?
Second,
I'm not ready.
mine is under. I don't know what it means in this aspect, but
Mhm.
mental reset.
Okay.
What did
Alright.
you mean when you wrote it?
All right,
Because
so,
I'm understanding it in a different way.
so what page is that?
It's the last page.
The last page. So when you wrote it, so when we do the sessions, we go through in the morning. We do an introduction. Depending on how long it is, we'll do like a panel. So like, well, I'll sit up front and I'll ask the questions, you respond and stuff. And then we'll do stations. I'll do the mindset station. Justin will do the financial literacy station, and Kendall will do the holistic health station.
Who's Justin?
Mrs. Sinclair. He'll do the financial literacy. After that is lunch. So then this halftime is lunch, and then mental reset. We do yoga.
Oh, that was like a session.
Yeah, it's a yoga session. But that's a dope thing, and that would be good for you too. Actually, it's good for all of you. But like you said, like you don't really have somebody to bounce things off of all the time. You got to kind of hold it in.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely when me and you started to build our relationship, because I started to be that person.
The receiver.
Yes, I started to be that person for you. But so, do you know what physiology is?
No.
You do?
Sort of.
Take a guess.
It's my kid.
I don't know. Like, I recognize the word, like, but I
Yeah.
don't know the exact definition.
And this is actually something I learned from Tony Robbins. So,
Okay.
I'll remind me to send you the YouTube on it, okay? So, your physiology is like more or less your body. So watch this. We didn't plan this. With your body language, show me sad. Alright, show me mad. Alright, show me like anxiety before a test. Now show me like happy. Like not elated, but like you're just happy. Like you should. Okay. So what you did each time was you changed your physiology. Like the status of your body. Alright? So I'm gonna challenge and I'm gonna stick to Agnes because I just know her the best in this regard. I can't figure you out. Maybe you just have it already. But so mental reset. So you're in an emotional moment, right? So when you're in an emotional, you should know this. I don't know if you remember. When you're in an emotional moment, you go through a process called the emotional refractory period. All right. So right now, Henry playing around. Boom. He spilled my water. Okay. So Henry spilled my water. So now I'm in a bad mood.
Because he spilled your water.
Because he spilled my water. All right. He spilled, and there's some good water. There's $300 water. Good water.
Okay.
Feed your water.
Good water. All right. So now I'm in a bad mood. All right, from an emotional moment. And a lot of people, like we all know, like some of the people we were talking about before the camera came on, if they get into a bad moment, it's a wrap.
Emotional refractory what?
Emotional refractory period. And you can also, if you text me, I'll send you a link to it too, so you can learn more about it. But you get into a bad mood, right? And if you don't handle that bad mood, it stays with you.
And it gets worse.
And then it gets worse, right? And then it becomes a temperament. So I see Henry in class, and now I'm still mad because we ain't never talked about it. Malcolm, I just moved and I knocked it down, or Henry, I could whatever. We had our conversation. We had that conversation. And if I don't handle it on my side, that then becomes my temperament. So like whenever Henry talks, I'm gonna have a bad temper because I never handled the emotional moment here.
I think I've had that with somebody before.
Right? And then finally, if we don't ever get to our understanding and I keep that bad temper, I eventually I'm always on edge. So that becomes one of my personality traits. Oh, I ain't messing with Mr. Malcolm because he be snapping. I ain't messing with Mr. Malcolm because he go off.
Come on.
But then
Right?
again, you can't really just be the grown person and have a mature talk about what the person did because the other person's not gonna find themselves wrong in the situation.
Not necessarily.
Okay, let's say this, okay? I talked to you about a drama situation that happened, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I walked up to the person in order to... No, actually, no. The night before I text the person, and texting won't really help because they can, even if they answer you, they might not mean it. So the next day I walk up to the person, they tell me get out of their face. So why would I keep pushing stuff?
Don't. Especially and that's, me and K.B. was talking about that too, an issue always take two people to come to the table. And it gets to a point where I come, sit down, if they don't sit down, just leave. And they can talk, you can be all kinds of B's and A's and everything. Cool. I came to you like a woman, I came to you like a man to handle it. You wasn't adult enough to sit on the other side. Boom, end of discussion. Right? But back to the refractory period. The longer your refractory period takes, the more mentally weak you are. The longer your refractory period takes, the more mentally weak you are. The quicker you get through that process, the more mentally tough you are, the more mentally stronger you are, right? So for example, it's a lot of things you already know. All right, my sister did this, she do too much, I already know how I am, I need to change my physiology. So something that worked for me, like when I was in court last year, I was real blown by the decision. I told you I won, but there were some residuals that came with that, pissed me off. So I was mad. But I learned happiness is a choice, and your mind doesn't control you, contrary to belief. You control your mind. So what I did while I was in the car, I was sitting like this, changed it for the guy. I sat up and I just cheesed. I was mad as hell, but I just cheesed, and it started to trick my mind.
Yeah.
My mind didn't is he really happy or is it? And it starts to. Another thing you can do is dance. Try to dance, but try to move and have your mind stop. It's impossible.
Yeah, I've noticed that definitely I don't know, it internally changes.
Yeah, it gets you Like your body can't move and your mind be static.
Sit
Like,
up.
it don't really work.
Smile.
100%. Right? So I'm gonna challenge you. That can be your mental reset. Right?
No, what I do is I just laugh, cause I feel like most of the time when I'm in my happy moments, I'm laughing, so I just laugh regardless of anything. Or I just listen to music. You know, it just brings my mood up. But yeah.
But I mean, I haven't taught you in a year, but like
You
especially
let me.
with you being so hard on yourself, you gotta be a master at the mental reset.
Of course.
Like you said, yo, I got a 99. That's unacceptable. But you would literally cry.
Stop telling people I cry.
No,
We get
yo, I
it.
mean, but think about it. I chose you to be here because you're great. Like that's actually
There you go again.
for a 16. That's actually pretty dope.
There you go again.
It's actually pretty dope that you get a 99 and cry. Because you see me,
Keep repeating it and cry.
but look, because you see me hand out 50s and people, they don't move.
Well, some people they'll be like, yes, like an 80. Or like,
Yeah, like I passed.
Then like if I get a 90, I'm like, I could do better.
So,
That's like a fixed mindset.
100%.
You
Alright,
tell
so
me
we got
that.
Henry.
You're the man, Henry.
We got
Yeah, I
Agnes,
feel like
last one.
I could relate to that because like, but when I do it, I'm bipolar.
No, she has anger issues, so she can't really have a mental reset. If that makes sense.
But if you have anger issues, you most definitely can have that. That means you need to find out how to mentally
I have
reset.
it because like I'm the type of person. If you know me, I laugh a lot.
You do.
Like I'm always like kiki.
Does she laugh?
So,
Though?
like-
She just screams.
Little sneaky giggle.
So like even though I'm mad, I will always like it's always something funny that'll cross my mind, and it'll just like my emotions will just stop right there. Or sometimes I'm just crying, and my mom told me I'm ugly when I'm crying, so I go to the bathroom and look at myself. And laugh.
Oh my God, me too. God,
So
I used
it's
to
like-
say mirrors away from my house.
So it's like my mental reset is easy for me, especially since like I'm a goofy person. Like it's easy for me to change my mood. But that's what like a lot of people think I have like a bipolar issue, but that's not the case. I'm just
No,
like
I have to go back on her point because it's like sometimes I want to cry, but the
Yeah.
second I look at a mirror, I'm like, Agnes, why are you crying? Why you just look at yourself, why are you crying? And I'm gonna start laughing, and then they'll forget about it. That's a good thing, forgetting, but sometimes I just want to cry.
sometimes
Like,
you just
literally-
need to let it out.
Yeah,
You need
exactly.
to.
Sometimes you do have to let it out, but also you have to be in control of your emotions. Like, is whatever I'm crying about really worth this amount? Now, if it is, don't hold it, because if you hold it in now, boom, it's gonna blow up like later.
Yeah.
If it gotta come out, it gotta come out. But also, I was like, yo, this dude Now, if it was this dude, all right, I got an issue. Like, he really valued me. But this guy, go ahead. That's really my fault. I should have known not to make no plans with him. You feel me? But pick a different one. This will be our last one.
I have a quick question. Let's say you have a friend that has anger issues. You hanging out with them, can that make you have anger?
100%.
Sharifa, I think I'm gonna start hanging out with you. Lately, I can't hold my temper.
Yeah.
And like
That's because by hanging out with somebody else with anger issues, you're not hanging out with somebody who can help you.
You're right.
You're helping out with somebody who's willingly in the issue with you, as opposed to like, yo, calm down.
I used to be, now that I'm with her, because I'm sorry to put you on the spot, on blast like that, but she cracked her phone over being mad, and it wasn't necessary. But now lately, I realized I get mad this fast, and sometimes I can't control it.
But then that was like I regret that because after I broke my phone, like right after I broke my phone, I just stepped out, went downstairs. I was like immediately calm, and I look at my phone like damn.
Have you ever heard of the saying, he or she lost her lid?
We old.
I told you old. You said no.
All right. Well,
You too.
but what happens is, like your brain, is right. Your thumb. I hope I'm saying this right. Is your amygdala.
Your what now?
Amygdala,
What's that?
It's part of your brain.
part of your brain. And when you're like emotionally stimulated, especially in a negative fashion, it pops. So you can't. There's no point in talking to this person. You just let this person. You gotta leave this person alone. That's why I say give them. We're not too old for this. Give them time to calm down. They need a second. So in that second, that's their brain recovering.
Yeah.
So probably when you threw your phone or did whatever you did, your brain was like that. But you gotta have an intentional process to bring it back down.
And it's crazy because you're completely right. Because maybe after this, I'll talk to you about it. Because like it's something that we were trying to tell you earlier, but we went to the bathroom and this started. Like I was like held it all in from the beginning until like somebody told me what I didn't want to hear, and like it just. I was trying to actually give my phone to the person so I can not damage my phone, but I guess it was too late and I just slammed it.
You gotta make sure that when you can, like once again, I know you're a kid, you don't have 100% control, but be real intentional about having the proper people around you. You feel me? Like some of the people you said before, and you got Agnes, I wouldn't spend no time with them. I would spend, no, for real. Like, and that don't mean you gotta be enemies, but like, if I got Agnes and some of the people you said about, I will never see them people again.
You know why she has that? Because Sharifa is the type of person, she's your friend, but then at a certain point you distance yourself from you. Is that a bad thing?
That's
no.
not your friend.
No, I know it probably doesn't sound right, but it's like when people say the further away, like when someone leaves, then you know how much value them or something like that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what it means. So when she distanced herself from me, it's them she goes to. That makes sense.
So it seems like you gotta not necessarily pick a side, but you have to pick a type. Like what kind of people you want to keep around you. Right? Because it's easy, like especially with me now, like I still got friends, gangsters. Like, and also on the other side, I got friends who are doing amazing things. I got the freedom to hang with who I want to hang with. You feel me? But
it's like you need to have that balance, if that makes sense. And I think that's what she has. If that
It's actually not like, and listen.
It's not. If the
You
person
listen.
pulling you down, ain't no balance.
No, it's not pulling you down.
No,
You're not
no.
getting it. It's like, listen. Just listen.
Exactly. Escucha. Maybe you need it in Spanish.
Like, it's not a bad thing. It's actually like, a lot of people tell me I do that, but I don't realize I do that. But they tell me it's a good thing. And she tells me that a lot.
Wait,
but it's
do
like,
that meaning what?
it's like
separating
it's
herself
like
from
I'm
you.
not.
Why?
Yeah, it's like you know how like when you like love somebody or like you with somebody, it's like instead of being with them all the time 24/7, like you get too clingy.
Right.
Like that clinginess gets annoying. So it's like
her separating herself from me builds more
like
love
more
and trust
connection.
in the friendship. If that makes sense.
It's like
It makes us more closer.
No, you don't.
Oh my God, you is too old.
I get what you're saying.
Listen.
I get what you're saying, but check it out. That's a myth. I know I didn't worry about Henry. I was like, yo, this kid is weird. Like, there's something different. He
called you weird.
He was just so.
Weird isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, weird people do amazing things.
Exactly.
But he was just so, like, you're weird too.
I am not weird in no sense.
But like he was so quiet. He did everything you asked him to do. He was kind of like a machine. Like, this little boy is like a school machine. But then one of his close friends got transferred in class, and like Henry actually got in trouble. Like all right, it's a real kid in there, you know. But that's just how he is.
That's
But all right, so closing. We'll just we'll go down the line. Just tell me one thing you learned today, from me, from you, from her, from him, from somebody.
Yeah, I learned about the mental reset, all of that, like how to like help myself and like what to do with my like dad and how to like do things. And also the do not try, just do.
Okay. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Go. Okay.
Okay. I learned more about the emotional refractory period, which I think is important in your mental state to be able to bounce back from something bad that happens and not get stuck in a routine of bad habits.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Agnes?
As for me, not to sound extra or anything, but I didn't necessarily learn, but I got reminded of certain stuff like the mental reset and, you know, just expressing myself in different ways to deal with stuff. Because, you know, we've had talks before. And to be honest, I don't think this is a good thing, but I'm kind of an open book, which is not a good thing. But, so today I didn't really learn, but I got, I know, right? The irony. But so I didn't necessarily learn, but I just got, you know, reminded of like meant like all what they said.
Well, I do remember, like, at those, like when we would have these conversations, which turned out to be a lot, I always remember you being very, very involved in them. Because most people were just quiet.
But some people couldn't handle the truth.
No, but it was also, like, those
felt
conversations were by far the most engaged the class would ever would be.
But, so I dropped the ball because I had a rough morning. I got shirts for y'all and some headbands. So I'm imaginarily give them to you. But I'll make sure I get them to you.
So some imagining.
Right, so I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
I don't do that. Sorry. It's like no.
Stop, Malcolm.
Thank you, Agnes. Thank you, Pistol.
Thank you.